Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the American Judo System live session for this month. It's been a long time since I've had an opportunity to work with you all. I want to introduce my partner. This is Mimo Cernulo. He's a student here at the dojo. Recently just took first place at the President's Cup, as well as the Dallas Invitational, and also this year won the Junior US Open. So Mimo's a 14-year-old kid, trains at the school. And welcome, and thanks for being my guest today.
Welcome.
Awesome. The other thing I wanted to say is that we only have a handful of questions that I'm going to answer today. If any of you has anything additional you want me to cover in this session, please feel free to submit your questions now, and we'll be sure to get to them in the end, make it more of a one-on-one session for you if you'd like. Before we get started, I wanted to bring attention to a guy from Australia who wrote us a testimonial just recently, and that's why we're doing this. We're here to help judo. We're here to help you become better at judo and help your students. So Dan from Australia wrote in, I like the product. It has helped me immensely with coaching at our local club. We've achieved some success at the Australian Nationals and the State Open, winning medals in the young men's divisions with all the material that you guys have taught. So I want to congratulate you, Dan. Thank you for being a member, and I'm glad to hear that it is paying off for you. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's get to the questions right away. And then again, if you have anything additional you'd like to add, feel free to type it in and we'll get that question answered. So first question we have is related to Ko-uchi Maki Komi, off the grip. Question is right on right scenario. So I'm righty, Mimo's a righty. Okay, hands are up. The question is, when someone is trying to throw this right arm over the top, right? So I go out, I post on the left hand. Hold on for a second. I post that left hand onto the gi. I'm hunting down this arm, but the guy's throwing the right arm over the top. How do I execute Ko-uchi Maki Komi off of this? Okay, as we said, judo is action, reaction, right? So if you know you got a guy that's throwing the arm over the top and you go and you post, first thing I would do is you got to snap this gi, okay? If you snap somebody's gi, it's very unlikely that they're going to continue to throw that arm over the top at that particular time, because once you do, and he throws the arm, you're going to score. But if we're trying to do Ko-uchi Maki Komi, and you know that this guy keeps throwing the arm over the top, when we first come out to play, instead of posting and waiting for the arm to come over hard, come out and right off the grip is when the time to attack. So instead of posting and standing, we go out and we grab, and as soon as we grab, we snap. That's how we start the throw. Okay, so we come out, we grab and we snap. Once we snap, we got to give it a little bit of a head turn. When our head turns, our opponent reacts backwards because they see that we're going to turn our body. So we come out, we snap the gi, and we turn our head. As we turn our head, we step back this direction, here. So my foot will then go in the middle of his legs. That gives me the angle to attack. Okay, so from here, snap, turn, and my foot goes to the middle. Once my foot goes to the middle, I then change directions, change level, scoop my leg around, and there's my Ko-uchi Maki Komi. Okay, so very important that you understand the difference between, change the angle here, between posting and waiting. If I post and wait, when he throws that arm, I'm going to have a hard time doing my Ko-uchi Maki Komi because that arm is already on my head. All right, so when I come out to play, I'm going to grab and I'm going to snap. And as soon as I snap that gi, I turn my head, bring my leg around to the middle, change my direction, and then boom, there's my Ko-uchi Maki Komi. Okay, so that would be my recommendation to you to set it up properly. Okay, the other question, part of the question was, any other tips or techniques can be used to punish an opponent that tries to throw his arm over the top? Without him having my left arm on the gi. Okay, so the scenario is this. We're out here. We've got our left hand on the gi. This guy hasn't got his hand on. I've blocked that successfully, but they throw that arm over the top. What you need to do is you need to anticipate. Okay, you cannot wait. Okay, our gripping system says come out, punch. When he throws the arm, you grab the wrist, you push it down, you secure it, and you get your grip. Okay? Sometimes when you're playing tall people, it's a little bit difficult, especially when they're anticipating this hand come, right? You might still get it, but he's going to throw that arm over the top here. then you get stuck. It's too late to do anything once it touches. You have to anticipate the arm coming, and you've got to turn and go. Okay, so we come out to fight. As soon as I grab, as soon as I see that arm coming, I've got to have an answer. I've got to pull. I hit maybe my opponent saying Agi off the grip. Maybe I come out and I hit my 2-on-1, cross grip, lapel, saying Agi. Okay, like we showed before, we come out, we snap the gi, and we go for our kochi maki komi from there. I think the biggest thing, if you've got somebody that throws the arm over the top, is movement. Okay, is moving. Is taking this gi and actually moving. It's hard to throw the hand over the top if there's movement going, because he's got to react to what I'm doing. I'm setting up a throw. Okay, so top two throws I would do for someone throws the hands up is quick ippon saying Agi. Come out, do a quick 2-on-1 double lapel. Saying Agi. And then another technique that I used to do years ago, and actually Mark Hozigan does it as well from Holland, is when that arm comes, is just to grab it here and turn. You used to let go of the gi and just turn here. Okay, so I'm in this position. As soon as he grabs and throws, I grab the sleeve and I just turn my body. Again, this is timing. You can't wait so the arm is already there, because then he's going to grab and he's going to bend and you're not going to be able to do it. So it's timing. As soon as that hand starts coming, you've got to be going so that your shoulders are already rotating on the way through. And it's timing on the attack. Okay, so that is my recommendation for you for that one. Okay, next one. Osotogari Encyclopedia. This is Travis's technique. When fighting righty versus righty, you demonstrate an Osoto left side. Could you explain in which situation is relevant? Okay, so righty, come out, I kill this sleeve, secure it, I've got my grip, okay? I believe when Travis did this technique, his opponent ripped this sleeve out, and when they ripped the sleeve out, they actually ripped so hard they changed their stance. His stance changes, okay? In this instance, remember, I never ever want to hold this grip, okay, without attacking immediately. Okay, so the American Judo system says, come out, kill the sleeve. Once I get it, I either attack or I put my second hand on the gi and now I do judo. Okay, but if this person rips away, we're supposed to go back to the beginning, grab, let go, start again. Okay, or attack. So I've got this person all gripped. He rips away. He changes stance. Here, attack off the grip. If you're going to hold this gi, now is your opportunity to attack. So left side, Ippon Osoto, is a great off the grip attack because he ripped out. He changed his stance. One leg is forward. That one. As soon as I do this and I start to turn, they're going to react backwards. When they react backwards, now I come in. I'm able to do my Osoto, Ippon Osoto from that grip. So that's a perfect opportunity to attack. Again, rips out, boom. There's my left Osoto. Okay, what other attacks would we do? Left on right. Okay, so two choices, remember. He rips this sleeve out. Either I have to let go and start my gripping scenario again, or rip out, I need to attack. Okay, I need to attack from here. Travis showed Ippon Osoto. Sometimes when they rip out, they don't change their stance. So sometimes Mimo might just rip out, but he keeps the same stance. Now I can't get to that leg with my Osoto. Even if I fake my Ippon Sewi, it's going to be hard to get to that leg. But I might be able to fake my Ippon Sewi, and I might be able to do Kochi as an example. Okay, so I'm going to put my back to you here. Mimo rips out, but doesn't change his stance. As soon as I show him Ippon Sewi, he reacts backwards. I come in, and there's my Ippon Sewi to Kochi. Might very well be he rips out another attack I might do. Boom, opposite side. Opposite side, I do left side Ippon Sewi, right? He rips out, attack. Boom, there's my chance to go. Another attack we might do from there, same thing. He doesn't change his stance. Maybe I do my counter from there. But the idea is this. When he rips the sleeve away, Now's your chance. Now's your chance to get your offense going. Don't just wait to grip again. He rips, and here comes the Kataguma. So the idea behind the gripping system is we dominate somebody's sleeve, or we dominate somebody's sleeve, and then we're looking to set up our judo. If he rips the sleeve away, the goal of judo is to throw. So get going and make your attacks right off the grip as soon as he rips out. Or rips out, go back to the beginning, and control the sleeve again. So those are your options from there. So that's what I'd recommend in terms of attacking the opposite side. You've got Ippon Seiwi, you've got Ippon Seiwi with Kochi, you've got Ippon Seiwi with Osoto. If he changes stances, maybe a Kataguma, and there's some good attacks for you, opposite side. Okay? Next question. Left versus right, inside position. Right is over the top. Both people are trying to get the sleeve. So classic judo here, right? I'm a lefty. I take the inside control. Mimo's over the top. Doesn't matter where. It could be there. It could be the lapel. Can't get that sleeve. It's difficult to get the sleeve. How do we can't stand here and do nothing, right? We can't just, we're both going to get Cheetos. So you've got a couple of options. The question was, what kind of footwork, what kind of ashiwaza do you use to catch the sleeve? Now, you know as well as I do that if that guy doesn't want to give me his sleeve, it's going to be difficult to get it no matter what I do. All right? Because he's obviously a defensive judo player. He's keeping it back. I mean, I would do maybe a step to the side, hit a big side, try to pull the guy by. And as you pull the guy by, you go looking for his sleeve, kind of to try to catch the sleeve. But again, if he keeps that arm back, I'm not getting the sleeve. What I used to do from here, and what I'd recommend is if you've got somebody that's defensively, you've got to come out and grab and engage with two hands, but you can't just reach and keep my arm straight here. If my arm stays straight, he's going to grab that sleeve, he's going to snap it off, and he's going to take my hand away. So when you go out and take this take this lapel, you can't keep your arm straight and not use this at all. This happens all the time. Especially when I used to train in Japan. If you go out and, so I'll have Mimo do it to me. If he takes my lapel and stands there, I'm going to snap that off. And now I've got his sleeve, he's got nothing. So we don't want that. So if you're going to go double post, we call it, or double lapel, you've got to take this hand and you've got to actively pull it so your arm's bent. And then you've got to look to get an attack off and be offensive with it. So come out, catch. Maybe I'm setting up my Ochigari. Maybe I'm going to do Ochi Osoto. Whatever I'm going to do, Ochi Uchimata. I'm going to come out and use this. Not reach and hold, but use it and pull it. Once I pull it, I can start to get some motion and start to do judo. And then it's hard for him to peel it off at that point because I'm using the lapel actively. Okay? So that's what I'd recommend. Or when I'm in this situation and the guy won't play me classic judo, I'd come up and grab this arm and pull that arm off. And don't let him get comfortable just settling outside being a defensive judo player. You know, maybe hit a tie-out. I'd say an agi attack is something we can, two hands on the same side. I'd say an agi is a good attack to do. When you're in this position, you can't get the sleeve. That's where that Korean sein-agi really comes into play. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for your question. Next one. When a righty sometimes plays left and also has a strong throw to both sides, do we circle to the left and kill the sleeve even though you know they have a strong throw both sides? Okay, so we're actually talking about somebody that does techniques both sides here. Okay, and in the gripping system, typically this person is stronger on one side versus another. All right, very rarely are they equally as good at both sides. So when we come out to fight, I've got to identify which side he is the strongest at. Okay, and I need to try to outgrip him with my righty. It's killing the sleeve. Okay, so come out, boom, boom, boom. If I fought somebody that did judo both sides, for example, you're asking about the direction to circle to. If I fought somebody that did both sides, I would never walk in a circular direction into either side of their throw. So if I'm a righty, I would always walk diagonally this way. That avoids him from switching sides, because what we're talking about here is we don't want the situation where we're leaned and we're bent over here. Mimo switches sides to left side, and actually I just want you to attack here, right? So when I go here, well, I'll show you. So the question here is this. I'm a righty, Mimo's a righty, but the person here fights both sides. So when you come out to post, you're afraid as you're gripping that the guy's going to come out and switch sides and attack opposite side here, right? That's what we're afraid of. Okay, so if you notice, if Mimo leans in this direction, okay, and if he leans in this direction when he's gripping, or he moves in this direction, there's a good chance he's walking into my throw as I switch sides. So what I would recommend is that in that situation, you never want to circle into your opponent's throw. So while I'm gripping, first of all, posture is key to judo. We've got to maintain good posture. So we have to stand up straight. Even when we're gripping, our hands have to be up. We post, we're up tall. And even though we're pressing that down, we're pressing it down like this and maintaining good posture. And the key to judo is making sure that somebody never gains control of your body, okay? So when we're gripping, I don't want to do this. Now I'm leaned and bent over in the direction that Mimo is going to change and throw. So first we stand up tall. We grip. Now, once we grip, in terms of circling, no. If he's a switch hitter, somebody goes both sides, I'm never going to circle this way because that's into his throw. What I would always do is I'd always drag and pull. Okay, I want to be going either directly backwards or I want to be going diagonally in the direction of my throw. I never want to walk in the direction where he might be able to throw. Okay, so hope that answers your question. Never circle in the direction of your opponent's throw, and maintain your posture, because even if Mimo switches and tries to go opposite sides here and it beats me, as long as I maintain good posture, he's not going to catch me on the move. And I'm going to have good defense when he does attack. Okay? All right, what is the best movement to apply ko-uchigari when you have a Georgian grip? Ko-uchigari. Okay. By Georgian grip. That brings back some pretty bad memories for me. I didn't really like ever being there. I'm going to show this as a lefty because I'm a left-sided judo player. But okay, so I'm coming out. I'm coming down his back. I've got his belt. My elbow is down, heavy on that side. Okay. Now, like anything else, if I'm going to throw him backwards, I want to start to drag him forward. When I start to drag Mimo forward, he's going to lean back, right? So I want to start to drag him forward. From this grip, I'm going to start to pull. From here, I don't know if you're talking about just doing a straight ko-uchi, or if we're doing like a ko-uchigake where we're coming in here and hooking the leg and throwing. But either way, you've got to bend your opponent over. The only way the Georgian grip works is if you come up high, your elbow down hard, and you start to pull. Go back. Elbow down, I've got him bent. And he's afraid of this coming. He's afraid of the big hips or the big hips coming and throwing. So as I start to drag him into the throw, I always want to make sure when I do ko-uchigari that this foot goes in the middle so that then I can catch him and run him over. Best movement. So the best movement for me is to drag. I want him to think he's going launching this way because I want a backwards reaction. So as I'm dragging, he's going to start to pull backwards. When he does, that elbow's going to be down here. Okay, down here hard so that I can come in. Elbow down, go back. I'm dragging, and then hit ko-uchigari. But listen, in the new rules of judo, you've got to be attacking quick, right? I can't come out on this side of his head and hold this for very long. So if I'm going to do that, I've got to grab, and I've just got to go. It's got to be an attack immediately. Okay. Ways to get your foot into the right. Am I missing that? Ways to get your foot in high leg over. Okay, good. First of all, there's a difference between newaza in the dojo and newaza in competition. And the reason I say that is this. In the dojo, get down your elbows and knees. People cover up as tight as you can. This is what it looks like typically in a dojo when you're doing randori. Okay, there's one guy on back, one guy on front. And the person's covered up as hard as they possibly can. Right? The opportunity to get your opponent in newaza successfully in judo really comes from transition. It's very hard to get into this position in a real live judo setting. It can be done, obviously, but in reality, usually there's some arm motion. Come back up, man. In reality, there's some arm motion going here. When he does his ippon seiri and he drops, usually there's still some resistance here. It's hard for him to cover up totally tight because I've got some resistance. It takes him some time. So the time to get your leg in is off of transition, right? That's the most opportune time to do it. And that's with any technique, right? That's how do I get Juji-Gatame? You go, Juji-Gatame is off of the transition where I catch. There's an opening and I catch it. If he's coming up tight as heck, I can't get my Juji-Gatame now. It's too late. He's covered up as tight as possible. And that's why I say it's different between practice and competition. Because they very rarely do they ever get to this position. Now, with that said, the answer to your question here, listen, judo's not nice. Especially good newaza people, they're not nice. I can't just sit here and go, hey, let me get that foot in. You want to get your foot in, you got to get your foot in. One of the things you can do is grab the back of his neck and lift him up. Push his belt, lift him up and stick your foot in. That's one way. If he's going to stay in a turtle, I don't think he's going to stay in a turtle for too long when you're doing this. So one of the things you can do is just come out, lift them up, and drag your foot in and sink in one hook, right? In the old ways, might be to lift up his belt. And I stick one foot in here, maybe, yes. The other thing is, come out and just start dragging the guy around. Like take his shin here, his calf muscle, grab that, push his head down, and pull him to the side. Stick a foot in, go back. You've got to dig. If you want to get a hook in, you've got to dig. Sometimes it might just be, I got to just get past his shoulder, stick my foot in, and now it's in. But you've got to be forceful. You can't just go slow. You can't be easy. And again, I think there's a difference between trying to get a hook in when you're doing randori versus getting a hook in competition. It just comes down to your transition time and your ability to take advantage of whatever he's giving you as a way. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for a few ways to get your leg in. Okay, next, since we can't use two hands to break a grip on a collar, what's the best way to get it off? Okay, funny enough, this is not something that I ever had to deal with, right? Because back in the days I could do judo, somebody grabs your collar, that's it. This hand goes down, this hand goes there, boom, that hand comes off, right? I can't do that anymore. All different ways, lots of different ways. Everybody does it a little bit differently. Travis was somebody, if somebody had his collar and he didn't like it, he was somebody that could grab the top. He would take his hand, take the slack out of the gi. He would push his hand straight down this way into the guy's bicep, and he slid that down his body. And as he slid that down his body, his upper body went the other way, and he did that so many times over and over again, nobody was able to hold on to his lapel. Okay, but it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of, I guess, technique to learn how to take the slack out of the gi, create some tension here, and then be able to slide it off properly. That's one way, okay? The other way, which is more of a Georgian way to do it, they do the same with the opposite hand here. Again, they take all the slack out of the gi. That hand goes down and away. Same thing, position with the collar, and they drive that hand down. What you have to do to execute both is you have to maintain your posture. Most people, when they try to break this grip with one hand, they bend, and they're pushing down, but their body's not working. Your posture keeps the gi stiff. It keeps that lapel stiff. So when you use this hand to push down, your body going the other way actually fights his hand. Whereas if I go down this way, his hand gets bent, his elbow gets bent. I want to try to keep that arm straight so it slides easier down the gi. So it's either take it off with your lead hand, and as you do, you step back, get some distance, get the tension, push it off. Or opposite side, you're doing the same thing, pushing it down, secure it, get it. Okay, that's two ways. The other thing is, if somebody beat me to this attack and I didn't like it there, right, and I didn't want to stay in this 50-50 situation, my advice would be to make an attack, to do something. Don't just stand here, especially if you're playing somebody that is a better judo player than you. Okay, and you're, I would say, afraid of letting them just take a free shot, because if you give them a free shot, you might not be here for the next one, next ripping shades. If you're in a situation where you don't like the grip, make a safe attack, get the heck out of that situation, come back to the beginning, and don't let them have your lapel the next time. It seems simple, right? It's the law of percentages. There's a good chance he's going to smash me with that grip. Then let's get out of this situation and let's live for another day. And that would be my advice to you. Okay. All right. Next one here. Do you have any recommendation to prevent leg knee injuries to tori when learning taotoshi? You know, it's funny. I guess in all the years I've been doing judo, and I started learning taotoshi when I was 9 years old. That's when my dad started teaching me Tao. I never, ever once had anybody fall on my leg, tweak my knee, or do anything to my knee that put it in jeopardy ever. And I've done Tao since I was a little kid. I guess the advice I have is that when we're learning Taotoshi, okay, and we're going to call this the attacking leg, okay? When we use the attacking leg, when we do Tao, never straighten this leg out. Okay, my advice is never do this. See where my knee gets locked out here? When my knee is locked, there's a chance for injury, right? Here. If Mimo just dropped on that knee, I would get injured because my knee is. So I would say is the attacking leg. I was always taught when I do Tao, that attacking leg is always dynamic. Do you see the bend in my knee? When I attack, that knee is bent. Okay, it's not straight. And I never put my heel to the floor. I always stay on my toe. So when I attack, two things. Never straighten your leg out. And always keep your weight on your toe. Those are the two advices I would have to prevent knee injury for Taotoshi. And I can tell you that through experience, I did judo for, 35 years or whatever the heck it was. It was a long, long time. And I never once had any injury to my knee, and my main throw was Taotoshi. So, and I was always taught to do it with a dynamic leg, and my toe faces the same direction as my opponent's toe. I never do this and turn on the tile. It's pull, step, step, come across, leg is bent, attack right above. So a dynamic leg, and let's be on our toe instead of our heel. And I think you'll find that it's the best way to prevent injury, knee injuries for Taotoshi. Okay, next one. If I dominate the grip with my hand behind the head and sleeve, and my opponent bends and keeps their arm straight, what throws are best? Same side. Okay, so maybe I'll fight lefty. So this, my opponent bends, so bend, and you keep your arm straight. So you got my sleeve with your, I know you're a righty usually. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so we're talking about this position. What techniques are best? Obviously, we're aware and we know that in a tournament, if he stays in this position, he's getting a Shida without question, right? So this is really for Randori more than anything. But somebody that's that fearful and their posture is already broken and they're stiff arming you, which means you're stiff. So I mean, I can't get close to him. To me, the best attack here is Tomoe Nage, if you can do a Tomoe Nage, right? So it's faking with a throw to even get more of a reaction of him bending, faking that, and then coming up for your Tomoe here. Somebody that's very defensive, you can always get to him. You can always get to him with your legs. Here. So I will go Yoko Tomoe. Left foot across. Right foot goes right up in the side of this belt here. Hands are twisting. And I'm throwing him. Making a circle with my hands and throwing it that way. To me, Yoko Tomoe would be the best attack. As well as, coming across. Push, stiff. This way is coming in. And looking for more like a hooking Neo Sotogari. If you can get to him. Again, if he's pushing you straight away, and every time you get close, he just backs up. There's your Tomoe. That's the best technique. Okay. All right, our next one. What is your favorite transition when someone falls into a drop seoi-nage? It really depends, right? I guess it's hard to answer these questions because everybody you compete against gives you a different reaction, you might have a different grip. For example, I'm a lefty. If I'm fighting left side and Mimo happens to be a righty, when he does his drop seoi-nage and misses, my hand is on his sleeve, right? He's pulling with that hand. So once I rip that hand out and I stop the throw, his arm is open. So for me, the best transition against a righty, if I'm a lefty, is going to be a Juji Gatame, right? So as Mimo starts to bail and goes, take that hand and go to the ground, I'm transitioning and I'm looking for my Juji Gatame from that position. But that's left versus right, right? Left versus right. Mimo does his drop sail. Boom, I stop the throw. There's my transition. Juji Gatame, lefty versus righty. But things change a lot if we go lefty-lefty. Because now Mimo does his drop seoi-nage left side. This hand, I've got the collar on this side. So if I've got the collar on this side, I'm not going to be able to do the same Juji. It's not open. I've got to do something different. And it also depends on how he falls. A lot of times, just do a drop your seoi. No point, I want from the sleeve. So sometimes it depends on where this hand ends up, right? So he drops, he does the seoi. This hand's on his neck. So that's going to be a British strangle from here, right? Snap that in, shoot through, and we're going into a British strangle from that position. If the arm went over, like it did the first time, lefty, bring this arm over the top, go. Drop seoi, that now I've got them set up. I'm going to be looking for something totally different. That's why when people say, what's your favorite? It's whatever's available. I got to take what they give me. In every situation, I've got specific moves that I can go to and finish my opponent on the ground, depending on what he gives me. It's not a preset, predetermined move, because if I only have one move in my arsenal and one move in my brain, and it's not there, then I get nothing, right? And I can't have that. I've got to have an answer for everything they do, okay? All right. Do you have any special training methods to train the grip breaks that you've showed? Okay, great question. Now, in order to be good at anything in judo, you have got to practice. It's repetition. Okay? You start by learning, let's go lefty, lefty. Okay, you start by learning how to break somebody's sleeve grip, okay, with very little resistance. Meaning you want to take the sleeve. I'm going to start to put pressure down. Hold on. I'm going to start to put pressure down. I've got to learn to take all the slack out so there's pressure, keep my posture, and I'm just going to practice breaking this grip. Push it down, and my partner's going to hold on. And at first, maybe we do only like 25% resistance, okay? So I learned, and I got to get feedback from him. You know, how did it feel? Was it tight? Did it give pressure on your arm? Okay. And again, I can't hold inside. So I'm going to learn to catch this, hold it, push it down, and try to keep my posture. And maybe I would do this 10 times. And then I would take the other grip. I'd do the same thing. And I'd also practice this 10 times, where he's practicing holding on, and I'm practicing breaking this grip. And eventually, we're both going to start to develop some strength in our movements. He's already holding his wrist, the inside of his arm, because it hurts. All right, but at the same time, I'm developing the strength in my arms, my shoulders, the necessary strength it takes to break this type of grip. And you've got to do this over and over and over again until you can do it without thinking, and you just grab the gi and you pop it off because you're that explosive, you're that dynamic, and you've practiced it enough times. I mean, if you watch high-level judo right now, and you watch somebody grab a lapel, and you watch, I'd say, any one of the Georgians or Russians, they just take that hand and they go, nope, and it's gone. Just like that, it's gone. Why? Because every time they randori, they're always like taking each other's arms and they're breaking them off. And they've done that 15, 20 times in a randori session. Multiplied by 10 randoris, they've got 150 reps of just snapping that hand off the gi, taking that thing and just going, no, thank you. And then they own it. And it takes that long to develop the strength, the power, the technique, the stamina. It doesn't happen overnight. And when you first do it, you're going to feel weak. It's going to feel like, man, Mimo's got this nice rash guard, so his gi keeps sliding. But when I'm here, it's got to be the right technique. If it's not going to work. And you can see it's not working. So that's when I know I've got to work on that. But like I said, I never had to do that because that was all I had to do in my day. So now we've got to learn the new techniques. We've got to learn the new gripping. And we've got to learn how to do it. And the only way to do it is over and over and over again. And again, how do you practice? You practice with purpose here, learning it. Then when you go out and you randori and somebody takes that grip, instead of just grabbing and saying, let's play judo, you've got to practice taking it off every randori session. So that's right. I got to take the hand off. Don't let it stay there. Don't be happy with it and just play judo. No, we're trying to get better. Take the hand off. And the only way you got to do that is you got to do it in a live situation enough times where you don't have to think about it and it just happens for you. Okay? All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me once again. Me and Travis, we really appreciate your support. Hopefully you're continuing to learn, get better at home, your home dojos. Coming up on holiday season here. And it's almost our 1 year. It is. It's our 1 year anniversary from when we started the American Judo System in COVID, right before Black Friday last year. We launched this website. We thank you guys for all being members. We appreciate all your questions. We appreciate the enthusiasm to learn judo, to continue to come and visit us every day. Every live session. But we're going to continue to add to the site. We've got some very, very exciting things coming. We will make the announcement soon, but lots of good stuff coming. And we appreciate your support. We hope to see you again for another full year. And like I said, anything you want to know, you've got access to us. So we're here to help, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Thank you so much for your support. All the best. Thank you, Mimo.